Hey guys, so the Impact Atlanta is back for season 3, and I'm here to review the first 2 episodes. This season stars Ari, Tucson, Glitter Gloss Up, Carlay, Light Skin Keisha, and Tori Bricks. Arrogant Tay left the show because I believe he moved to New York, so I think he might be going to the Impact New York City if that gets a second season. And I feel like Tori Bricks and Gloss Up were brought in to replace Lakia and Des Dior because unfortunately they were pretty boring and didn't bring much to the show. I kind of feel bad for Lakia because if y'all don't know, QC Quality Control, her label, produces the show, but they also have Gloss Up on their label. So if they feel like she's more of a personality for the TV show, you got replaced. Also, one of the major storylines from this season is going to be Ari and Tucson's fallout. Tucson alleges that Ari gave him a $20,000 birthday check, but it was all for cameras and clout because he never received any of the money. Ari says that she sent the money directly to a car dealership because that's what the $20,000 was supposed to be for Tucson to get a down payment on a car. But Tucson tried to do something illegal and pay for it or get a CPN for the car or something like that. And the dealership caught him, so they sent Ari back all the money. And I guess she's like, I'm not giving you nothing if you're trying to scam. And he also was saying how he wanted money from her YouTube channel, which I don't think he necessarily deserves because in my opinion, he pushed himself onto Ari's show. So somebody on social media said, I'm so sad about Ari and Tucson. Please fix it. He said, baby, don't be. I will be better off. But imagine you letting someone spit at you, them giving you their ass to kiss and ain't putting you on for real, for real. It's nothing to fix. It is what it is. The error was entertaining, but it's kind of over with, boo. So he also said that Ari spit on him when he confronted her about him not receiving any of the money. But my whole thing is, how is he saying she never put him on when Ari's the whole reason that you're basically on the Impact, and she's also the whole reason that your page got bigger because, like I said, you pushed yourself onto Dinner with the Dawn, which gave you more visibility. Remember, Tucson knew Tay first and worked for Tay first. Tay never put you on. We never knew who you was when you was only working with Tay. Once you started hanging out with Ari and working for Ari, that's when we actually found out who you was and learned about your personality. So she put you on more than Tay. But okay, episode 1 review / recap starts now. So Ari seems very happy with her move to Miami. She says she feels like she's in the best place that she's ever been in her life. And at the beginning of the season, her and Tucson are still cool. He comes to see her, and he basically just says that he's having a hard time getting used to Atlanta without Tay and Ari, now that Ari's in Miami and Tay is in New York, but he's making Atlanta his own. Then Mike is Tucson's boyfriend of 2 years, and he's working on Ari hair and makeup. So he's like on her glam squad. So I'm just wondering, how is that going to work now that Ari and Tucson have beef? And basically, Ari tells Tucson that she's going to come to Atlanta for the summer because Yosan misses the family. And Tucson said that Tay is also going to be there for the summer. So they'll all be in Atlanta to film this show conveniently. So last season, when we saw Ari and Tay together, their relationship was rocky and getting distant. And it seemed like every time Ari would try to talk to Tay about it, he just wasn't really interested in the conversation. Like he was kind of over her. So Ari says that her and Tay haven't spoken in a year now, and she kind of got to the point where she was just ready to let go of the friendship because they wasn't seeing eye to eye. She feel like she need to put boundaries up with her and Tay friendship if they're going to continue. Now, maybe somebody could tell me this in the comments. What does Light Skin Keisha's husband do? I only know him from Light Skin Keisha, and I know they've been together for years, and I've always seen him like in her YouTube videos and stuff like that. But what does he do that he has the money to constantly be showering her with gifts and buying bust downs and stuff? Because all I know is he's a rapper that ain't go nowhere. I'ma just say it. I think he a scammer. Next. Carlay is back. I'm interested to see how her and Tucson interact this season because last season things were not good between them. But Carlay was kind of the problem child in general last season. Like she had problems with like 2 or 3 people. So hopefully this is a smoother season for her. So as of now, we see that Carlay and Tori Bricks are good friends. And for those who don't know, Tori Bricks is Rich the Kid's girlfriend and baby mom. I'm not gonna lie, Carlay advice to Tori sound like one dummy bitch to another dummy bitch. She talking about, oh yeah, regular girls who date regular men, if they get cheated on, they be like, I'm gone. But I do think it's different if you dating a celebrity or a rapper and he's on the road constantly. So basically you saying that because he's on the road and he's not around you, your grown ass is giving another grown ass man an excuse for not having control of himself and not being able to keep his dick in his pants and not being able to not give in to temptation. If a man has no discipline, you shouldn't even want to be with him at your grown age. So we get introduced to Light Skin Keisha's friend Julian, who works with her and Coca. And she's getting ready for the last premiere of Power Book 2 Ghost. And like she said, it's a bittersweet feeling because she really fell in love with acting on that show. And y'all know how it is with acting. Like, you don't know if you're going to have another job once your show ends or once your movie ends. I think for the first time, we see Moneybagg Yo on the show. Him and Ari live together. And before they both said that they didn't want to have children, Ari was saying she didn't know if she wanted to have more kids. And Moneybagg Yo already has like 8 kids. So I think he was done as well. But now he's saying, you know, if it happened, it happened. So we see Tucson meeting up with Tay in hopes of trying to start mediating the situation between Tay and Ari. So from Tay's point of view, Ari stopped talking to him. And he was like, if she felt the way about something, she should have told me about myself and I could have told her about herself. But instead, she just called herself washing her hands with me and going ghost. But Tay agrees to allow Tucson to get him and Ari together. It's good to see Ari, Herb, and Yosan together and them just co-parenting. They have come a long way. If you know, you know. Yosan is bad. He said, I hate Miami. Miami sucks. F Miami. Now, he didn't say the word. He literally said F Miami, but I just still feel like he's too young to even be saying that directly to his parents. Like, what? And Ari said her and her sisters kind of was clashing because when she moved to Miami, she took Yosan and her mom. So now her siblings and her siblings' children are like, hello, we need our mom and grandma too. And she was like, just because I'm the one that takes care of my mom, I don't want her to feel like she got to do what I want her to do. So Ari's emotional because she like it feel like a lose-lose situation because either way, Yosan is going to either be happy in Atlanta and she's going to be sad because she's not going to be with her son. And then eventually he'll probably be sad because he's going to be like, well, mommy, why didn't you come with me? Or she forces him to stay in Miami and then he might resent her for that down the line. So Ari's meeting up with Keisha and Tori and she gets a text from Tucson saying that Tay's down to meet. She says she don't know how to feel about it because she feel like Tay has a hard time saying sorry. So Tori's a DJ. Ari asked her why she didn't go on tour with Rich the Kid to be his DJ. She said she wanted to come back and focus on her own brand. She had been in the house a lot for the last 3 years because she had a kid. So Ari was like, well, when y'all gonna get married? And Tori said that Rich the Kid is down to get married now, but she told him that she feel like they need to start over and take their time because she don't want to get married and get divorced. So Keisha was like, well, what you mean by that? So basically it's because he got caught cheating. So Keisha and Ari told her, you know, it's okay to take him back if he actually makes a change. And then Ari said that Moneybagg Yo cheated on her early in the relationship, which most of us know. But she said that now she wouldn't take him back. Like, she's not down to give somebody chance after chance. You got one chance, fix it. And Ari talking about if somebody cheat on you, that don't mean they don't love you. Well, it means they don't respect you. And it means that they don't love you enough to be monogamous. Because I guarantee you, for most men, if a woman cheats on them, they damn sure look at it as if that woman doesn't love them. So Carly is meeting with her aunt and they're just talking about how, you know, she's mourning this 10-year relationship with Young Thug and her family has to get over it as well because they had a relationship with him. And her aunt was just like, you know, I don't like how you're just labeled as Young Thug's girlfriend or Young Thug's ex. And Carly really seems to be ready to break free from that. She said every time she drops a song, the comments are all saying, oh, you sound like Young Thug and stuff like that. And she just wants to have her own identity in the public. And her aunt saw that she still had Jeff tattooed on her wrist. And she was like, when are you getting that removed? And Carly was like, oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And her aunt was like, it seems like it makes you emotional to think about removing it. So Tay comes to see Ari and immediately they hug and they're smiling and stuff. And I knew that they had been friends since like high school, but I didn't know that they had been friends since like middle school. She said they've known each other since like 6th grade. I really hope they patch this up. Sounds like Tay is wrong because he's talking about, oh, I told you I didn't want to talk at Tucson party. And then after that, I reached out to you and said, I love you. And he was like, that was your moment to respond and tell me how you felt or express how I hurt your feelings. And she was like, so instead of you texting me, I love you, why didn't you text me, I apologize, or I'm sorry for hurting your feelings? He gonna say, oh, well, maybe my I love you was my sorry. And she said, no, that's not apologizing. So now I see what she mean when she say Tay got a hard time apologizing. He just want to say, I love you and move on. Ari really sound like she trying to mature and grow in their friendship. Like, she like, I want you to be a good friend to me and really take accountability and apologize. And if it's something that I do to you going forward or anything that I ever did to you, I want you to tell me how you feel instead of just playing the petty games. But Tay ended up trying to apologize and he said that he know he's still kind of immature and has his ways about himself and he need to work on his attitude and his communication. So Ari and Tay made up, they talked it out, and then they started talking about Tucson, and they was just like, you know, he's kind of lost without us. And Ari was like, yeah, if you didn't move to New York, Tucson would still be living at your house. And Tay was like, yeah, Tucson need to figure his stuff out. Okay, y'all, so now we moving on to episode 2. So Rich the Kid called Tori to check on her. Honestly, I don't know much about him, but he does come off very sweet, even though we know that he cheated. But he just speaks to her very nicely. He's very soft and sweet with her from what we could see. I don't know if that's how he is all the time. Y'all may know more about their relationship than me, but this is just a first impression. So Carly's meeting with her friend Dave Bella, and apparently she's London on the Track's other child's mom. She revealed that she had a kid by him while he was with Summer. So they get to this brunch that Carly's publicist Freshie is throwing, and a lot of people are going to be there. We see that Tori's there, and she basically said that if Tucson is there, she just don't want to engage with him, and she hopes that it's good vibes all around. I really like Gloss Up. I don't know if y'all know, like, Glorilla, Gloss Up, Alexa, K Carbon, and Sly Maroney. They were all 5 friends, and they used to be a rap group before Glorilla and Gloss Up blew up. And Gloss was always my favorite out of the 5. So I'm so happy that she's getting some type of push from this show, because I feel like the music hasn't been moving as fast, but I just think QC is not the best label to sign to at this point, so I blame them. And when Gloss Up was talking about her and Glorilla, she was like, you know, now a lot of things have changed. We kind of in two different lanes. I hope that her and Glorilla are not like getting distant. But I'm sure they don't have as much time to hang out anymore. But I hope like when she say they in two different lanes, it's not like distance in the friendship, you know? So Tucson did end up coming into the brunch, and him and Carly just kind of looked at each other and didn't speak. I can already tell that Julian is messy. He starts asking, oh, what happened? The vibes changed. What happened? Because obviously Carly was a little annoyed. So Carly ends up having to tell the whole table what happened with her and Tucson. A couple minutes later, Tucson comes back over to the table like, oh, I got shots for everybody. Mind you, everybody sitting at this table. Julian, Keisha, Gloss Up, Carly, Tori. And he basically bought everybody a shot except for Carly. And somebody was like, Carly need a shot. And then he just started talking over them and left. And went back over to his side of the room. So he called Ari asking her where she at. She like, I'm not coming. Now, while Julian is messy, he kind of clocked Tori's tea and said what I said earlier. These girls are just going for anything. Tori talking about all niggas going to be niggas, basically saying all men cheat. And Julian was like, no, you need to expand your horizons. And light-skinned Keisha was like, my man don't cheat. And like he said, you saying all men cheat is coming from a place of insecurity, because who says that unless their man is cheating on them? So Ari told her mom that her and Tay made up, and her mom was literally in tears. And she was like, I'm so happy because, you know, she's known Tay since he was like in 6th grade too. And she was like, he's like one of my sons. So that was a cute moment. Gloss Up talk just like Glorilla. She like, I always been a fan of light skin Keisha music. But we see her and light skin Keisha meeting up at the gym, and they just start talking about how QC is putting a lot of pressure on Gloss Up, and she really need to find a hit. So Gloss Up says she just really feel like she need to put a better team together, and she says she need a PR person. So Keisha was like, well, that's what my best friend Julian does, so maybe you should meet up with him. And Gloss Up and Keisha both said that they plan to get in the studio together and put out a song. I don't know if they have since put out a song together. I'll look it up after this. But that would be good because Gloss is new to this and she's trying to find her way. And like she said, she need a hit. And female collaborations usually do make a little bit more noise. You know, the more, the better. And then Keisha kind of took a break from music to do the acting thing. So this could kind of be a way for her to get her feet back wet into making music. So Ari, her sisters, and her mom are meeting up and doing this tacos and tequila. And her sisters are happy that they're back in Atlanta. But Ari is like, I'm not happy that I'm here. I'm just here to see y'all. And because Yosan and mommy want to be here. And her sisters are telling her the truth. They like, well, at the end of the day, Yosan hates Miami. And one of them was like, when he came to my house last time and he got here, he was like, finally home. Like, Atlanta is still home to him. He's not going to see Miami as home. Ari says she don't feel safe in Atlanta. And her sister was like, well, how about you give Yosan to us for a year and we could just figure out and plan how we could potentially come out to Miami with y'all. And Ari was like, I do not want to give my kid up to y'all for no whole year. And Ari's older sister reminded her that when she was in college, you know, her daughter had to come down there for a year. And she was like, you know, I didn't want to do that, but I had to do it for the moment to make things work and to accomplish my goals. But they was like, so if we all move to Miami, should we all live together or should we get like a compound? How many bedrooms will we need? And they was like, you know, like 12 to 15 bedrooms. And Ari was like, you know, that's going to be a lot of pressure on me. Miami is very expensive and I'm going to be the one who's going to be responsible for everything. So I got to make sure that my businesses don't fail. And then she makes a joke in front of her mom to all her siblings talking about, I think we should all pitch in and start selling PUSSY. So Tucson came in and threw the whole vibe off. You know, they was having serious discussion. Now they talking about this whole brunch and him and Carly beefing and stuff. And of course, he told Ari he feel like she should have never been in Miami and he want to throw her a welcome back to Atlanta dinner. So she agrees. So Gloss Up is going to meet up with Julian for potential PR and business. So Julian said he's worked with Kanye, he's worked with J-Lo, and I believe Light Skin Keisha has said that Coca and Julian have a business together. So I'm starting to understand where Coca's money is coming from because I was very confused. So they talking business. Gloss Up is trying to invite him to her event. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, because, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to your event, but I want to get to the bottom of some things. And Gloss is like, what are you talking about? He starts talking about Carly and Day. And when we first saw Carly and Day, she already said that they was friends and they had fell out and got back together. But that's their business, especially if they knew each other since they was in high school. And they older than him. He only 24. Like you wasn't even around when they was in high school. But he basically said they had a big falling out and he want to know what happened, which I don't understand why that matters if they back cool now. And he said that Carly was being fake, basically. Then he's like, oh, so what you think about Tori? And she like, Tori, cool. What's up? And he was like, oh, I've heard things about her relationship. That ring is a promise ring. She's been engaged for the last 100 years. Gloss Up looking like, I do not want to hear about this. I'm here to talk about business. Like, you're messy as fuck. And he's a publicist. He don't even know how to be a publicist for his damn self. He's not the one. I don't care how many people he worked with. Because let's be real, you a publicist and you worked with Kanye West and J-Lo in recent years. In recent years, J-Lo nor Kanye West has been looking good in the public eye. And like Law said, it's no way you just met me and you want to tell everybody business. He talking about, oh, I got a friend that's sleeping with Rich the Kid. Like, what? And you could tell he just trying to stir the pot because he gonna tell Gloss, oh, make them hoes talk at your event. I'm giving you shit to talk about. And if I was there, I would help you. So he's not coming, but he want her to be messy and stir the pot after he done stirred it. So Ari's new plan is to keep her house in Miami, but also get another house in Atlanta and just put Yosan at homeschool so that he could just go back and forth freely. So she said that's like a temporary plan until her brand Remedy can help her pay for this compound in Miami to move everybody there full time. So with At Gloss Up's Can I Vent event, the song actually sounded cool and vulnerable. I'm going to go listen to it after this. And Gloss Up basically was like, well, I'm a real ass bitch and I'm going to just tell y'all Julian came to me and told me to tell y'all some stuff. And she asked Carly and Day what was up with them. And they basically was just like, we've been best friends since we was 15 and we just grew apart. But that's it. Like, it's no tea to tell. We clearly here side by side. And then Gloss Up was like, well, that's not all. And she turned to Tory and basically told Tory, he said that Rich is cheating on you with his friend. And like Carly said, Gloss is curious and she want to bring everything to the table. And that's a real trait. But you don't want to come off as messy or just kick up the wrong stuff. But like she said, Julian is just plain messy. And Tory was just like quiet and caught off guard. And that's how the episode ends. So I'll see y'all next week for episode 3 of The Impact Atlanta. Bye.